Hari Om. Can you all hear me? ॐ सहनाववतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यङ्करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै ॐ शान्तिः गुरुर्ब्रह्मा गुरुर्विष्णुः गुरुर्देवो महेश्वरः गुरुरेव परं ब्रह्मा तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः. तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः. The next chapter, the personality of the individual, I'll try to touch upon a particular shloka of a very beautiful text called Drug Drishya Viveka. It is written by Bhagavan Sri Adi Shankaracharya ji, and there in the very opening, I think the books that I love reading usually start with the very opening shloka hitting a sixer. Drigdrishya Viveka is one such. It starts with the understanding of what is Drig and Drishya, that which is seen and who is the seer. Subject object analysis. The same topic gets covered in the 13th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, where Bhagavan Shri Krishna says, Idam shariram kaunteya kshetramityabhidhiyate. There also the analysis that is being focused upon is the subject and the object. Many times the agitation and the confusion that we have is because of lack of or the inability to decipher where exactly am I, what am I attached with, who do I become. Depending on that, my action, reaction, response and the agitation thereof I carry. So just take the next episode that I am going to explain only for the joke part of it. There was this Santa, he was working on the 13th or 14th floor. His friend Banta came in huffing and puffing, all agitated, and he told Santa, यार माफ करना, तेरी बेटी मर गई है. Your daughter, I just got the news, died. That fellow, so devastated with the news, he just jumps off the window. मालूम है आपको? अच्छा. Jumps off the window. As the cool air starts hitting him, he is crossing one floor at a time. I mean, though it happens, finished. But I'm taking it slow motion. So as he is crossing the floor one at a time, he realizes, "ये मेरी बेटी नहीं है, I don't have a daughter." The next floor he crosses, he says, "I don't have any children." Another few floors he crosses, he says, "I'm not even married. I'm yet to get married." And then he realizes, "I'm not even Santa Singh. That Banta that came, his friend is actually in the next room." Thus ends the story. Now, the point being, we will think that who will be such idiot that will react like this vehemently, that somebody that which you are not, something which you are not, there is no relation to it, correlation to it, and not only you react, but you respond so violently. 90% of our story, almost every agitation is like this only. Because we do not see the subject object referral point clearly. So, in that Drigdrishya Viveka, Adi Shankaracharya ji starts, he says, "I can see the world because of my eyes." Lochanam Drik. I mean, if I have to be genuinely honest, I have to say, Chashma, that glasses is one layer, without which I might not be able to read properly. So, Chashma Drik, Drishyam Prapancham. Beyond that, just because there are these glasses kept there, it is not going to read. You need eyes. Just because there are eyes, that too they are open, it doesn't mean that seeing happens. Many times when I sit here, I have a overall picture of everybody that is sitting here. So I can very clearly see if there is somebody who is in or somebody who is out. Physically they are seated here. Eyes are also open. But looking at those eyes, you can tell very clearly if they are listening in or they are thinking and they are gone out. That's why when you scold your children, what is one thing that you want to make sure? That they are available for you at that moment. So what is one dialogue that all parents say? Look into my eyes when I am talking to you. कहते हो? I picked it up from you all, so you must be saying it. Look into my eyes. Why? You want to make sure that you are communicating to that fellow. Otherwise, we have the fear that they are ignoring us. So you want to make sure, look into the eyes, you see the recognition in their eyes and say, now you get my point. Okay. So you want them to listen and you want to look in. Because many times you have the eyes open and they are gone. Like in meetings, sometimes you are, you know you have missed the point and there is an important thing that is going to happen. So you gulp it down and say, can you come again? kind of missed that last portion. क्या सो रहे थे? The eyes open, we miss. So it's not just enough if the eyes are open, there is something that is making sense of that which you are seeing, has to be cognized by that. We call that as the mind. Beyond the mind, there is an intellect which processes the information that is gathered by the mind. Once that intellect processes it, it then churns decisions, directives. So whichever limb, whichever organ has to function in that particular field, the mind will bring that information and whip that particular organ of action or into that particular field. Right? So what does this whole schematics tell us? We act, react, respond to whatever layer we are identified with. See, in the Western world, in the Eastern world, in the Eastern philosophy, the skin color doesn't matter. Because what is the understanding? That which is enlivening this system is you, and that which is the most external layer is the skin color. But what do we talk of humanity where we have to enlighten them that you cannot use the skin color to segregate people and oppress. The last 800,000 years, it has been purely based on skin color, pigmentation. Based on pigmentation, we have divided the world. Black, white, brown, and anywhere in between. That is only skin color. And that too the external most. Now what is the philosophy talking about? It is talking about the internal most, the subtlest of them all. And where are we caught up? Where are we dragged in? In the most external most, in the opposite direction. And please don't jump into the wrong bandwagon of saying, anyway, these differences don't matter, na Swamiji. No, to come to that subtlest standpoint, first the identity at that level is important, and that has to be substantiated, supported, from where having drawn the confidence, then they can move to the subtler, lower, subtler inner group. Without that, the transition is not possible. Most of us are identified at the most externalities. And instead of becoming subtler, instead of becoming more sensible, we are becoming a society of sensitive. Sensitivity has grown up. And because of this sensitivity, what has happened? Nothing that which is can be stated as that which it is. So it has to be politically correct these days. So I don't know what they will call you and me. Because bald should not be called as bald. Old should not be called as old. Fat should not be called as fat. Nothing what it is can be stated as is because people are sensitive. And you have to be extra cautious because people are sensitive. Sensitive to what? To a wrong identity with a wrong layer. Am I getting across? Now, look at the Ashtottara Shatanamavali of our Devatas. The first time I understood, because I was just being introduced to Sanskritam, I must have been in 4th or 5th grade, and I could read Devanagari by then. So I could read what it was, and kind of, the sense of meaning of it, it started dawning upon me. So we were doing Ganesh Puja, Ganesh Chaturthi, Ganesh Puja. My father was reading out the 108 names. We were supposed to offer whatever, the flower, the leaves, the durva grass and all of that had to be offered. I was having uncontrollable laughter. Why was I having uncontrollable laughter? Because I started understanding the word and the meaning of it. Vamanaya Namaha. Vamanaya Namaha means he is short. Lamba Jataraya Namaha, pot-bellied. Lambodharaya Namaha, Lamba Jataraya Namaha, pot-bellied. He is short, he is pot-bellied. Kya bol rahe ho yaar? Are you praising him or are you teasing him? That thought itself was tickling me. And you don't have normal ears. Shurpa Karnaya Namaha. Shurpa. Shurpa means what? That with which you separate the husk from the grain. Your ears are abnormally wide. Shurpa Karnaya Namaha. Oh, dancers karte na. Shurpa Karnaya Namaha. The next one is the most hilarious in my opinion. Ekadantaya Namaha. I looked almost, I was already laughing, giggling. My dad was not liking it, but this was real doubt for me. Ekadantaya Namaha. The one who lost one tooth or the one who still has one tooth? Which tooth are we talking about there? Big question for me at 5 years. किसके बारे में बात कर रहे हैं? Ekadantaya Namaha. One tooth only left. Usually the elephants have straight trunk. Your trunk is crooked. Vakra Tundaya Namaha. So, एक भी नाम ऐसा है वहाँ पे which seems like it is praising him. From today's sensitivities, that where we are sitting in, if you look at it, you are being a bully. Is there one name there which is all the physical attributes distant? And he is seated being praised with those very names that which we would have been sensitive have become something that can be adorned him with. That he is not feeling disrespected or let down by being recognized by it. But our identity itself is wrong. So we can call our situation for most of the time, for generations, that we have identity crisis. Most of the time we live either at a physical level or that which we are attached with regards to this body on an external level. You comment somebody's car and they start getting agitated. Why? My car. It is something which has carried you. It is not even you. But my identity is so deep that anything which has been stating about that vehicle, that instrument, can agitate me. Dirty car. It has not been washed. Dirty car. सबके सामने बोल दिया ऐसे. We get agitated. It's not even me directly. Oh, another example, classic example. I keep requesting all of you to wear Indian clothes, and when you do wear Indian clothes and somebody says, "Oh, such a beautiful sari," you should look at that Amma. Thank you. Why? They are not praising you as beautiful. Hello? Excuse you. The sari happens to be beautiful. But the wrong identification is, I have taken apadita vastu, apadita lakshana, that the sari is beautiful, therefore I am beautiful. No. Clarity is very clear. Sari is beautiful. समझ रहे हैं बात? साड़ी को कुछ बोल दो. स्वामी जी, it hurts, you know. अरे, it is a साड़ी. कपड़े को बोला है, तुमको नहीं. Am I getting across? The material layer, if it is praised or not praised, or recognized or not recognized, I feel I am being recognized or not recognized, heights of stupidity. It's not even you. मैं उसकी बात कर ही नहीं रहा हूं. No. I am not talking about who purchased it and what intent. When you tell the sari is so beautiful, look at all of them, how they act, react, respond. Thank you. और किसको बोल रहे? साड़ी को बोल रहा हूं मैं. The outermost layer. But the feeling is, if it is between you and your wife, I can talk. I can understand. I am talking about completely somebody who has not bought that sari for them. And his wife is not even here. I didn't ask you to come and you came, I have to pick on you. No, that is the sutra and everybody is a Shankaracharya writing bhashya on it. Do you understand? Do you get the point, right? That which is not me it's not the subject. It is the most external layer, that which is connected through, that which I am using as a material. If that material is accepted, rejected, praised or not praised, I feel, I get carried away by that. Now what to talk of at a physical level, physical layer. If that is said something, and we ask wrong questions. I remember in college, there was this girl that came in a certain clothes, pants and sub, the fashion बढ़ रहा था, came in tights and was looking awkward. She asked somebody, कैसी दिखती हूँ? You know how in a classroom environment, and he said the truth as is. He got a top spin by her. She came to me. कैसे दिखती हूँ रे? अब क्या बोलूँ? सच बोलेंगे तो वो, he got one. You know, yesterday that which you are wearing, बहुत जच रहा था. Thank you. मैंने बोला क्या? ये नहीं जच रहा है. But you say that, that also is agitating. Now at a physical level, when we become sensitive, every layer we become sensitive. So the external most, which is this physical layer, which is called the Annamaya Kosha, or the Sthula Sharira. Sthula Sharira, the external Panchabhautika that can be seen. Subtler than that is the either Sukshma Sharira, or the next layer is Pranamaya Kosha. Pranamaya Kosha, the vital air sheath. Now this vital air sheath is very important. Why is it important? Because all the physiological activities that happen in this system happen because of this movement that is happening, because of these 5 parts of the air that which we have, enlivening air that which we have inhaled. Prana, Apana, Vyana, Udana, Samana. And therefore, when we offer Naivedya to Bhagavan, the Samashti Prana, the totality of this Pranavayu, because of whose movement there is the expense of energy, to that I am feeding this Naivedya. So what am I doing? Pranaya Swaha, Apanaya Swaha, Vyanaya Swaha, Udanaya Swaha, Samanaya Swaha. I am feeding to that Samashti Pancha Prana. Right? All the physiological activities happen because of this Prana Vayu. Hunger, thirst, all of this happens because of that Prana Vayu. Then comes the next layer, Manomaya. Manomaya is the emotional phase. अब उस emotional phase का क्या क्या बताएं? Every single movement of this thought at the emotional level, we readily become that every single time. And there are people now who announce what kind of manovritti that they are going to get into. Oh, गुस्सा आ रहा है, हाँ? गुस्सा आ रहा है, अब मैं बोल दूंगा. Just because there is gussa, you don't need to become, there is a thought of anger, you don't need to become angry. If there is a banana peel, केले का छिलका, there is probability of me stepping on it, slipping and falling. Right? There's a probability. 50-50 chances. Just because there is a banana peel, should I step on it and fall every single time I see a banana peel? Am I making sense? If I have not paid attention, by mistake I stepped on it, I fell. Mistake. Every time I see a banana peel, do I have to like sit down and cry, "Arey Baba, ab kya karu? Why? Banana peel." That is what we end up doing with our emotions. Every time there is an emotion, a peaked moment of that emotion, knowing that I will be agitated, we announce our agitations also. But what do we end up doing? Dance to the tunes of our own agitations. So if there is a sad thought, I become sad. If there is a mad thought, I become mad. By mistake, if there is a glad thought, I also become glad. But scared that that moment of gladness will also be gone. These are all emotions. Anger, agitation, frustration, jealousy. And we think we have the right to express. I am true to my feelings. जो यहां होता है मैं वहां बोल देता हूं. I don't hide. बाबा filter लगाओ. Just because you have that emotion, you need not express it. Filter it out, weed it out. That which is not necessary, that which is not required. You don't even need to be identified with it. No, we get identified with it. And you tell an angry person not to get angry, look at the result. First of all, there is a denial. Kaun angry? I am not angry. Don't tell me to be not angry. We become more and more sensitive. I said, I always repeat this, I am repeating it again. Sensitivity is a disease. Try to be balanced and sensible. Don't be a Sensodyne. उनका टैगलाइन क्या है? It is meant for sensitive teeth. Sensitivity is a disease. Be sensible and balanced. Is this emotion required? No, there is no vishleshana, there is no processing. Just because there is an emotion, I get identified with it and burst out with it. Then comes the intellectual seat of decision making, the pride, the sense of glory. हम बता रहे हैं, I am making this decision and I am telling this, everybody should listen to it. If somebody is listening to you, what do we interpret it as? We interpret it as, because they are listening to the decision that they have made, they are accepting my decision. Because they are accepting my decision, they are accepting me. Thus, thereby I conclude that they are respecting me. That's the drawn conclusion. This is hunky dory as long as this happens. The corollary of it, if that which I have said is not adhered to. So, what is the process of conclusion? My decision is rejected, therefore I am being rejected, therefore I am being. What has not been accepted is the thought, or what has been rejected is the thought. But what are we concluding it as? The acceptance and rejection is about me, therefore I react. That's also wrong identity and the effect of wrong identity. All these layers are nothing but the layers of the most externality, that is not the self, not the subject. But we listen to it, right? But when it comes to justifying our positions, action, reaction, responses, we justify it as though it is our Janma Siddha Adhikara, that this is how normally we should be reacting. That's abnormality is what Vedanta is saying. Am I getting across? It's abnormality. But we justify that as being the most natural, normal thing. If we are listening to Vedanta, if we are trying to practice Vedanta, shouldn't we disidentify rather than justifying our wrong identifications? And in the utter sheer frustration, then it comes, I am like this only. No, you are the self. That which is having all these morphing different natures are the layers of matter. You are not matter. What are you? That which gives the energy to that matter to move. I am not calling that entity as energy. That because of who that energy can move in the layers of matter, that presence, that conscious principle. I don't know how to stop it. Now, if there is a fan that is connected to the wire because of which it is moving, and I am feeling cold, so what do I do? ठंड लग रहा है, तो what do I do? पंखा बंद करो. Disconnect it. You don't have to be scared of having a fan. You don't have to be scared of having the emotion is not the problem. I'm not going to throw that fan away because I'm feeling cold right now. What do? Learn how to disconnect it. Having the emotion, having that thought is not the problem. Having the inability to disconnect from it is the problem. Why do I not disconnect? Because I feel justified to express it, because I am the emotion. I am the thought. I have not created the distinction between the object, which is the matter layer, which is the thought layer, and I, the subject, who is empowering it, enlivening it. How can that which is borrowing its very existence from me and being enlivened come to curtail me? ये वुलन बॉल करते क्या वो ना, हाँ, crochet, thank you. So you are into that, you are sitting in and doing something. The ball fell down, but you thought when you get up you will, and it has gone round and round and round. When you get up, you see that it is, your feet are trapped in it. What do? देख रहे हो that it is entangled. Do you again, like, start walking even after having seen? What will happen if you walk? Thup. You know the difference, right? The one who falls from the first floor and the one who falls from 13th floor. The one who falls from 13th floor, thup, no more sound. The one who falls from the first floor, thup, you are seeing that it is entangled. What do you need to do logically, sensibly? Before you do anything, what should you do? Disentangle. Disentanglement does not mean that I have to now trash this ball of wool as far away as possible because I have been entangled. Bevkufi hai. I am not, nowhere in the scriptures it has said that any of these emotions are bad or wrong. Not having the ability to have balanced, accessible control over it. Sir, I know when to use it, I know when to withdraw it. That inability is what is bad. And one of the key factors as to why we are stuck in it is because we do not see ourselves as other than being that emotion or thought. And we then justify because it is me. I am like this only. No. Whose nature is it? That nature is of the nature of the thought. That nature is the nature of the matter layer. I, the conscious principle who observes it, notes it, cannot be subdued or overwhelmed by the layer of matter. It does not have it in it to overwhelm the conscious principle. What are you saying, Swamiji? All these happen. I get into the loop of that agitation. I cannot control myself. I am lost. Few days are gone. And you say that it cannot. Therefore, we use the word deluded. Only the deluded can be carried away by it. Where is that delusion? What is the word for delusion in Sanskritam? Moha. Repetitive moha is called, its bhava of moha is called moodha. Moodha in colloquial language is called murkha. And what have we done? PhDs in murkhatva. do mistake once, learn from it, make sure you don't repeat it ever again. But your starting logic itself is, that is my nature, that is who I am. क्या करें उसका? So these 5 layers are the most external layers, they are not even the internal. So what is spiritual sadhana? To begin with, along with your puja, japa and shastradhyayana, there has to be swadhyaya. Swadhyaya, that word can mean 2 things. Swadhyaya is the study of the scriptures. Swadhyaya also means swa adhyayana, to be able to study one's own self, when not posthumously, not after the fact, while it is happening, to be conscious, to be alert, to be awarefully doing. Am I being meticulous at this point? Even if I am showing anger, am I being meticulous? That it is not the emotion taking over and bursting out. I am using this moment of anger, I will use it, I will withdraw it, just like any other instrument. We use an instrument, it is not in our control. We become addicted. What is the last thing that you see? Not Bhagwan Smarana. इस पे क्या चल रहा है? What is the first thing that you see? Again, if with the most external of the externals we get attached to, addicted to, what about the most intimate ones? How much more conscious, how much more alert one has to be? And that is the key for finding peace within. The more I am alert, the more I am at peace. Such peaceful ones are focused. Such focused ones are ready for antarika sadhana, nididhyasana, meditation. Do we have that kind of detachment? Free accessibility to our emotions, thoughts and feelings? Shouldn't we be focusing on that first, gaining mastery and balance in that, so that there is an unbroken platform of peace within? That which we are studying is called Ishavasyopanishad, right? Who is given that knowledge and wisdom? The one who has assured to the teacher that I am already seated in that kind of peace with a focused mind. समझ में आ रहा? Now the question that you have to ask as a homework, how far am I, or how much homework do I have to do to reach to that point within? ठीक? I'll stop here. Om Shanta Shanta Shanti Hari Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha Hari Om. So the chapter of personality we have dealt with in detail. We'll move to the next chapter next week.